Welcome to the show. My guests tonight, Stampeders Outriders Lena and Jill. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
There we go. We got it. Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Go for it.
Okay, my name's Jill or Jillian. I cheer for the Stampeders Outriders and have been with the Roughnecks Drill Crew as well. I grew up in Airdrie, Alberta, moved to Vancouver for a bit, and then settled back down in Calgary and joined the cheer teams.
And you?
I'm Lena.
Okay. Hey, we talked about this.
We did. Sorry.
Tell me more, please.
Yeah. My name is Lena. I also dance for the Stampeder Outriders and the Roughnecks Drill Crew. I was born and raised in Calgary, and I've been dancing since I was 10 years old, and I've been professionally dancing with the Calgary Stampeders for 6 years now. And Roughnecks, hopefully this will be my 8th season once we audition again, and that's where I met Jill.
How did you each get started in dance and or cheer?
I got started in dance when I was 3 years old. My older sister used to dance, and I remember watching her on stage, and I looked at my mom and I said, I want to do that too. They put me in dance. I did it until I was 9, took 2 years off. I did a whole bunch of other hobbies in those 2 years and realized I still love dancing, went back and never stopped.
Yeah, and my mom actually saw a flyer in the mail of a local dance studio. It was in Heritage Point, so just outside of Calgary. And I didn't really know what else to do with my time. So she said, hey, you want to try this jazz class? It was once a week for 45 minutes. And like I said, I was 10 years old, which is considered a late start to dance. A lot of people I know started dancing as soon as they could walk, 3 years old. So I joined this once a week, 45-minute jazz class. And from there, I fell in love with it. I started taking all the different styles, jumped into competitive dancing right away, and then from there went professional once I turned 18.
When did you both realize that it was more than a hobby, that you're going to try to pursue it professionally?
For me, it was, so once you turn 18 years old, like most, sports you grow up in as a kid, you can go professional, you can join a beer league, you can coach it, or you can just quit altogether. So once I turned 18, that's when I saw actually a posting on Instagram for the Roughnecks Drill Crew audition. And after doing that audition and getting onto the team, that's the moment that kind of clicked that I could do this professionally. I could actually make money from doing this and kind of keep going on with my dream of dancing because I was so passionate about it growing up. So that was kind of the moment for me. I never thought it was a possibility until I kind of made that audition that year.
Yeah, I kind of always toyed with the idea of it when I started planning for my future, looking at university programs and those sorts of things, and nothing stuck because I wasn't as interested in anything as I was in dance. I think I was 17 when I did my first audition for the company I got into in Vancouver, and I got early admission into that, and I knew right away I wasn't going to apply for any universities, and that was the post-secondary education I was going to take, and ever since, I haven't stopped.
Dance Academy?
I danced for the Source Dance Company in Vancouver out of Harbour Dance Centre.
Why were you in Vancouver at that time? What, did you go there for that?
I moved there for the company. Once I got the admission, I pretty much stopped auditioning for other programs. I knew that was the one I wanted. I moved in with 2 other girls that had made the program, never met them before, never been to the city, and packed up my bags, found an apartment, and was in Vancouver for 3 years.
Looking back, what would the kid version of you be surprised at where you've ended up with your dance career?
I think the kid version of me would be surprised that I kept dancing. There was a good 2 years of my life where I didn't want to dance. I couldn't go to class. I withdrew halfway through one of the seasons. I just really fell out of love with it and wanted to do anything else in the world. So I think I would just be really surprised that I continued and impressed with how far I went. I remember watching some older dancers in Calgary make it out to Vancouver, Toronto, LA, and thinking to myself that I'd never do that. And I did. So I think I'd just be really proud of myself.
I think for me, I would have been surprised at how many opportunities beyond dance that dance itself opened up. Everything from, being on this podcast to I've met so many people who have gotten me volunteer connections, job connections, all because I was dancing in some sort of way that opened up doors for so many other things in my life. Along with, I didn't think how much dance would have built up my confidence. I think without dancing, there's no way I would have put myself out there as much as I do now. Or like I say yes to everything, hence this podcast. But I think that really is something I never thought would have been possible from, going to the studio all the time, dancing with my friends, not thinking anything of it, that it could really have an impact on my personality and how I grew up to be who I am today.
Those are really good answers.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a question first. What sucked you back into it? You said you had 2 years where you didn't want to. What brought you back in?
Yeah, I joined a baton session in the church in Airdrie, and I decided in that moment I was going to do it come fall. That was going to be my new passion. When I registered for the baton class, they told me I needed to go and take one dance class a week. So I went to the studio that my sister was at. I registered for one class a week, and one of the teachers was like, "Hey, do you want to audition for our competition team?" Said yes and made their competition team and then dropped baton.
Let's go back for both of you. The routes you took to get here.
Okay.
A mix of dance and cheer. How did it go for each of you? You were in Vancouver, and what about for you?
For me, so again, started dancing when I was 10. And quickly got into competitive dance. My dance career has always been in Calgary. So actually, that being said, when I was about, I'm going to say 16, 17, I actually danced at Callaway Park for 3 years. That was kind of my first step into the professional world. So competitive dancing my whole life.
What kind of dance? Like musical theater situation, like a performance on stage?
So dance styles I took growing up was jazz, ballet, point, lyrical, contemporary, and acrobatic dance. So that was kind of the styles growing up. And then going into Callaway Park, it was more of a musical theater type role. So it's their outdoor shows every day called Callaway Live. So 3 years we did, you do 2 different shows, and it honestly feels like you're in Disney. So they train you, your character, and how you walk into the park in the morning. You have to walk into the park as that character, and you have to interact with all, they call them the guests that come to the park in your character. So for example, one year it was Canada's 150th birthday, and I was the hockey ballerina. So I had a hockey jersey on top and I had a tutu skirt. And my role was to cater to both the little boys and little girls. So I would play pretend hockey with them as I was walking to the show, or I would teach a little girl a ballet move or a little boy. So that was kind of the start of that. And then I forgot the question.
It's okay, because I want to talk about this theme park thing. Thinking back on my life, I always feel like I missed out at working at a theme park. I just wish I could have done that. That must have been fun.
It was incredible. To this date, the best job I ever had. Imagine before your shift, you hop on the roller coaster. After your shift, hot summer day, you go down on the log ride.
Nice.
And you get first dibs because you work there. No lines.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
The question before was your history between growing up and now for dance and cheer. What happened in Amsterdam? What's this Amsterdam stuff?
Oh, yeah, that was a bit of a side quest. So I joined. So growing up, my favorite style of dance was acrobatic dance. Best way to describe that is kind of like what you would see in Cirque du Soleil from their dancers. So they do some kind of contortion, flexibility, tumbling, but they're also dancers in a sense there as well. So growing up, I kind of did some very recreational gymnastics, but then when I became an adult, I actually joined an adult gymnastics crew here in Calgary. And we actually trained for a few years to go for Team Canada to Amsterdam for a gymnastics competition. So we were a group of about 30 individuals, and it was a giant floor routine. So we made it through nationals, which was against all the teams in Canada. And then they send the top teams to Amsterdam to compete for Worlds for Team Canada. And we were one of the teams picked. So went there, bit of a side quest, went and for Team Canada gymnastics doing kind of the open floor routine. And then came back to Calgary. And
did you get involved because of your work in dance here, like with these two organizations, or was it just completely separate?
It was completely separate. I got a DM on Instagram and I said yes to it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And then tell me about yours.
Yeah, I started dance when I was 3, and then I started competing in dance when I was 5. So dance was kind of my whole life. Besides that 2-year break, when I went back to dance, a lot of the seniors at the studio started graduating. A couple of them did the program in Vancouver that I ended up doing. I often went to a convention called Groove Street in Calgary, and the owner of the convention pulled me aside and was like, I want you in this company. I got my early acceptance. I did 2 years with The Source in Vancouver. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. You get so many networking opportunities. You get to work with some really big choreographers out there. They do a big show at the end of the year. So you you produce a full-length dance show as a part of being in this company, which was something I'd never done before. I really just competed and learned 2-minute numbers. I also did some music videos and lots of flash mobs, corporate gigs out there, and COVID hit, which sent me back to Calgary. When I got to Calgary, one of the girls I met in Vancouver in The Source, we danced together. She sent me the Drill Crew audition and she was like, hey, hope to see you there. I was planning on moving back to Vancouver. I didn't think I was going to stay in Calgary, and went to the audition, got the call back the next day saying I made the team, and packed all my, I guess my boxes were here. I unpacked all my boxes and have been in Calgary ever since.
The rest is history.
The rest is history, and now I just cheer, and it's great, and I love it.
What's the pressure like when you're younger in dance competitions?
It's high.
It's very high. Yeah.
A lot of pressure. You have to learn really quickly how to emotionally regulate yourself because of the high pressure environment that you're in, which I am so grateful that I did, because I think that really set me up for success in the future, doing job interviews and podcasts like this, or performing in front of packed stadiums. And that, I think, really, that pressure at a young age is what built my confidence into what it is today.
Definitely. And you gain so much self-awareness, not only, of course, your body and space because you're a dancer, but just, how you need to act, how you need to hold yourself. I think definitely, to your point, has helped me so much in day-to-day life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did it help with the stages you're on now? The Grey Cup and things like that. They're massive performances.
You might have the same answer as me, but it's way less pressure dancing now as a professional.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I 100% agree. When you're young, there's so much pressure on the marks and awards that you're going to get. And it's definitely not about that. Competing in dance, for me, was more about beating myself than beating the other people there, and just getting better scores every time. But I think when you tie a score and a medal to an art, there's a lot of pressure in that naturally, which immediately removes your stage fright.
Yep.
You grow up not having stage fright. So going out onto the stages and stadiums that we perform in today, I feel more nervous dancing in front of a small group of people where I can see their faces versus a packed stadium where the crowds are a little bit more dim and you can't see the eyes of the people you're performing for.
You just kind of see a mass of people, not individual people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a lot less pressure.
There's
still a good degree of pressure for sure, but like you said, it's not just everyone only watching you and judging you on every single thing you do. They're watching the whole team, and there's so much more production to it now. And we're part of a cog in a greater picture of entertainment at these games. So
do you have a moment or a stage that you can think of that was the biggest one, or made you the most nervous or the most accomplished?
ever or just in competing?
I don't know. Do you have one that is not
Does one come to
related
mind?
to?
I am absolutely terrified of this stage in the Bears Paw. I believe it's their church.
Rock Point Church.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I competed there.
I also competed there, and I did a series of turns across the back of the stage and got myself wrapped up in the backdrop. And I got in major trouble from the theater because if you know theater, you cannot touch the backdrop.
No.
That is like the most expensive piece of equipment on a stage is the backdrop. And somehow twirled myself into this curtain on the back of the stage. And I get weird every time if I've taken my students there to compete, I freak out a little bit. It still causes me stress today.
PTSD.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something about the Grey Cup or the Jonas Brothers or something like that, but
We rehearsed that so many times.
We did.
that I really do think by the time we got out there, it must have been the at least 10th time that we had done that.
Yeah, that performance over again with them.
Yeah. So I think
It was great.
it was so
Don't
much
get me
fun.
wrong, but yeah, we did it so many times with them beforehand that we were like, yeah, I'm set.
The pressure gets taken out.
Yeah.
It becomes like muscle memory. So I know if my brain turns off, I'm going to know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't
when-
worried about thinking I would forget something.
Yeah. I think what scares me more is when something that you're not expecting happens. I've totally kicked a boot off my foot while dancing, and that is when I get nervous.
that was my follow-up question, actually. If anything's gone horribly wrong and what you do to recover.
Lots of things.
Okay, tell me about it and go.
Grey Cup this year.
I was going to say, so Jill.
We were at Grey Cup in Vancouver, and we have a kick line in all of our dances. I did this kick with so much power that my boot came off my foot, and I landed on the side of the boot rather than my foot being in the boot. And the floor is so slippery, so I just wiped out in the middle of this kick line. Like, I hit the floor, everybody else is still standing. And in that moment, I just was like, okay, stand up and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, she got right back up.
I
We have
stood
a
up
video of
and-
it.
With
Yes.
no boot?
I kind of shoved my boot back on
Back
with
in,
my foot
yeah.
while I was falling and got up and
Yeah, it didn't go flying or anything.
it was
kinda
just like
came off.
half on. So where
Yeah.
this part of my boot I stepped on.
What about for you?
Ooh, a time when it went horribly wrong. I'm trying to think like
I know
uniform
one.
malfunctions or
I know one for you.
okay.
When your shoulder came out in your back
Oh,
handspring.
I dislocated my shoulder mid opening routine for a Roughnecks game. So yeah, I dislocated my shoulder doing gymnastics training for Worlds and it's finally healed, feeling better. Anyone who's ever dislocated a shoulder, you know it.
Mine
Yeah.
comes out all the time now.
Okay.
I can just pop it out with my hand. It feels like it never heals.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been working so much, like doing chiro physio to strengthen it again and finally got the clear to go back and tumble. So during our opening routine for Roughnecks, I do a tumbling segment down the line where I do back handspring and then a back layout. And you have to whip your arms to do the flip, of course. And when I whipped my arms, my right shoulder came out again right after I spent 8 months rehabbing it. So when I landed, it like popped back in. And as you know, when your shoulder's out, you can't actually like lift it. So we're dancing and I'm trying to get it back in, but I think it was pretty low key. There might be a video of it on the Jumbotron
I didn't notice the whole
in
dance.
the archives. Okay,
Yeah,
that's great.
I don't think anyone knew.
Yeah. Yeah, it was painful, but it was like, I think the impact of landing the flip kind of helped pop it back in. So
Good.
yeah, it was,
And then, so you just kept going.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Didn't miss a beat.
Good. It's time for a break.
Okay.
I'm going to cut to a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. It says here that 72% of you watching are not subscribed. Please help me out and hit the button below, subscribe. You can watch again next week. Thanks. And we're back.
Wow.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
We had some fun stuff over break that I'm gonna clip. Some good banter. You can tell your friends.
Aw. She just laughed. Just like, oh.
Is it common that people are on the Roughnecks and Stampeders dance teams? What are they called?
Drill crew.
Drill crew.
Yeah. Initially, no. They're very different dance styles. So Outriders is very jazz, technical kind of dancing, whereas Roughnecks is very much more hip hop, jazz funk, groovy vibes. A lot of dancers can't do both styles to like a professional degree. But most recently, we actually have a lot of crossover on our teams. We have some really talented dancers right now. So I would say, how many are there?
I think there's 10 that cross over this year.
Yeah.
But there's probably 12 or 13 that have crossed over and just chose to retire from one of the teams, like is focusing on one.
Right.
So it's more than half that have been on both teams now.
How big are each team?
We have 20 for the Outriders and 18 for Drill Crew.
I thought it was way bigger. It seems like a lot of people going out there.
Hey, that's good. It's the illusion.
So what's different? How's the vibe different? You liked that question. On the field and in
Did like that question.
Yeah. How is it different?
I mean, many ways.
Tell me some.
Let's see. So I think one main one, the Saddledome, because it's enclosed, they have a lot more ability to play around with entertainment, whether that's music and halftime shows and things like that. So I think the energy in the dome for a Roughnecks game, of course, too, they play music for the whole game. So it's always very rowdy. It's also very family friendly, and they can usually fill up the dome pretty quickly.
Also the lighting. We get to play around with lighting for our dances, which is really cool. That's something that we don't get to do in McMahon because it's outdoor. So you're relying on the outdoor light.
Yeah.
But it changes the vibe and the energy of your dance when you've got the fun lights going on.
Totally. So yeah, that's kind of more Saddledome Roughnecks, but McMahon equally, like, we have some very long-term legacy season ticket holder diehard fans, which is incredible. But also the CFL community, for example, if Saskatchewan is coming to town, they will drive out all of their fans and they'll come cheer on at the game. So yeah, the vibe of McMahon, and of course you're dealing with the elements. So it can be a different vibe if it's, blizzard, minus 20, pouring rain, or it's super hot outside. You get all the elements, but that's kind of part of the fun of that game day experience as well is, you're outdoors in Canada. And
yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it. I think the way the Saddledome is structured, it feels a little bit more intimate and closer to our fan base just because while we're doing our big routines, we feel closer to them because the energy is like a circle. What's really cool about the Outriders that we don't necessarily always do with the Roughnecks is we dance during the sidelines and like while the game is going. So you get to be right up close to one of the sections and you start to get to know the faces and the season ticket holders that are right in your section. And you kind of play off the fans a lot in the Stampeders games versus the Roughnecks, and they call our cheers at us. So when we'll be on the sidelines, you'll always hear people go, "Fire it up!" And to me, that just gets me going because I'm like, we're gonna fire it up. The energy
from them, yeah, for sure,
yeah. Or they'll try to call out your dances sometimes, which is so fun. Like it's such a fun environment to be in where it's really interactive at a Stamps game, and then it just feels like more. It's still very interactive at a Roughnecks game because you have all of your call and repeats for when penalties happen and everything. And we get to walk around at a Roughnecks game. We don't get to walk around at a Stamps game. So
so we get to interact with the fans in that sense. Versus, yeah. Different in their own ways, but both are really fun in their own ways. So
what about the prep and game day? How are they different for each?
Yeah.
They're quite different. The repertoire that we use for the drill crew is quite, I want to say, smaller than the Outriders just because there's more material that you need to know for a Stampeders game. when we're dancing with the drill crew, we dance an opening number. We dance between all the quarters. So we have 3 on-field routines. And then we have a wind dance, which is my favorite dance.
Yeah.
I love that dance. And then for the Stamps games, we have all of our on-field routines. We have our opener, but we also have 10 sidelines, 5 fillers, and 5 cheers to know. So there's a little bit more to know when you're dancing at a Stamps game, and you're dancing for longer. You're going for the full 3 hours rather than just when the game is paused.
Yeah. Yeah. So prep in terms of practices as well are slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them generally 1 to 2 times a week. With Roughnecks, we'll do an on-field rehearsal day of the game. Whereas with Stampeders, we'll do it kind of the Wednesday before the game, a couple days in advance as well. So, yeah. And then, of course, with Stampeders, you got to, put the waterproof makeup on in case it's going to rain and extra hairspray in your hair. Whereas in an enclosed place like the Dome, we can touch up between every quarter. Whereas Stampeders, you're out there the whole time. So you got to be extra ready to go, I guess.
Absolutely. And you're battling the weather. So
Yeah.
you're fighting your hair and makeup all game long.
Did you have enough time to think of an unforgettable crowd moment?
I did.
Go for it, Jill.
So there was one time, it was after the game. We had just won this was a Roughnecks game. And there's like a little after party in the Telus Club, also known as Dutton's, after the Roughnecks game. And all the fans will go there. They have live music. It's always so much fun. We try to go and say hi to people that we know that watch the game will go there after. So we go and say hi. And one of the fans pulled me aside and she was like, every single game we watch you, we've been calling you Smiley and we really want to know your name so that we can call you by your name when you go out there. And that was the moment for me where it was like really huge. And you realize that people are watching you and you're changing somebody else's day when you're out on the field. You're entertaining. And that would have been my 2nd year, I believe, on the team. So quite early into my career with the cheer teams. And yeah, that for me put everything into huge perspective.
I think mine was actually, I think there's a lot of them, but one that comes to mind was Grey Cup last year in BC. I actually had a fan print out my web shot photo and found me so when we go to Grey Cup, it's kind of chaotic. We're jumping between different events across the city. But he had found me and he got me to sign his printed off web shot of me. So yeah, he goes, I know all about you and all this. And he goes, I'm just such a big fan of, the Outriders, the organization, what you guys stand for. And yeah, he had my picture ready to go. So that was pretty cool.
My grandma was a Stampette. I just wanted
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. She wanted me to say something about it. That's what I'm doing.
So
just yelling
cool.
it out randomly.
For those of you who don't know, the Stampettes were the Outriders before we existed. So the Stamps have had a cheer team for a very long time, but they did used to be called the Stampettes. So they walked so we could run.
Yeah.
What part of being on these teams makes it feel like more of a family than just a dance team?
The people. The people that are on the team. Like Lena and I are best friends outside of the teams. We spend so much time together. But I think you also spend so much time together that you really create really cool bonds. And what we do is pretty special. I would say like it's a really amazing opportunity. And you just spend a lot of time, like all of the silly stories that we have, like your boot falling off or all of those connect you together. And then
it's definitely, we call it a sisterhood, as cheesy as that is. We even do like cute little team events outside of, like, for example, Roughnecks. We're in off season right now, but we still try to get together as a team all the time. And we do something fun for Outriders. It's called Secret Sister. It's kind of like Secret Santa, but it's season long and you get little gifts for your secret sister throughout. And it's kind of a big gift at Grey Cup and a grand reveal. So yeah, it's super great. And kind of a fun thing is, these are probably going to be your bridesmaids when you get married. And a common thing, I don't know if you've ever seen the TikTok trend of Thunderstruck. So the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, they do it at the girls' weddings. Something the Outriders are known for is spelling letters. So across CFL, if you go to Grey Cup, people know the Outriders, they can spell letters. So usually if someone gets married in the group, the girls will go spell their last name in palms and do like a flash mob style cheer. So yeah, it's super special to be part of these teams. And, you know, these are going to be my lifelong friends forever.
And I think it naturally puts like-minded people in a room. So you're bound to create connections with these people because you have so many similar interests. Your work ethic is the same. We often we come from very different backgrounds, but you've been through similar experiences growing up. So we really have a deep understanding of pretty much everyone that comes onto the team before they even join the team. You know what they've been through for the most part. Obviously, everybody has their own stories and everything that made them them. But the journey it's different for everybody, but it's also a lot of the same stuff, which I think really connects you before you start getting to know them anyways.
Is there a lot of new people every year, or is it a lot of the same people every year?
Depends year to year. Yeah, this year, how many rookies did we have for Outriders?
I think we had 6 this year and 8 last year.
Okay.
And it kind of ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of look at the lifespan of the girls on the team. So when last year we had 8 girls, they all joined. They were all around the same age, a little bit like younger. So they're going to go through the team together. And a lot of the time, because you create such big bonds with these people, you retire at the same time as these people, which would be the years where there's bigger gaps. However, everybody auditions every year. So you're not on the team. Like once I audition my first year, I'm not on the team until I decide to retire. We audition every year. So you always have to be on your A game. And
yeah, it totally depends. Yeah. Exactly. It ebbs and flows. Like I would say the average tenure is 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
So kind of at that point is usually
it different between the two?
I would say, I think Outriders, maybe it's closer to 3 years. Roughnecks closer to 5.
Yeah.
Depends.
I'd say Outriders is a lot harder on your body because you're dancing for the full 3 hours. So it takes a lot of strength and stamina and endurance. And
it runs over summer.
It does.
You do have to give up some sacrifices for summer vacation stuff if you're going to be on Outriders. So,
which sometimes works better for students. And
yeah, it all depends. But
can you tell me a common misconception people have about what you do?
I think a lot of people don't realize the strength that it takes to be on these teams. Like, we are athletes. I train in the gym pretty much every day to keep up with my dancing. I go to chiro all the time to keep my body in shape. And I think a lot of the times people, and I don't know if it's true, maybe people do, but I think the biggest common misconception would be like that dancers are artists instead of athletes, but dancers are artists and athletes.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with Jill, along with, like you've gone to school, you have an education, you have a full-time job, you do 6 other things on the side on top of this. That's kind of a misconception too, is that, you're just a cheerleader for this team. So, yeah.
How has being on these teams shaped who you are as people outside of the game?
My confidence has grown so much being on these teams. Answer. I think being able to hold conversations is a big thing that I learned through the teams, and the confidence that it takes to obviously be out there. You grow up without stage fright, but I think I just have become so much more confident in who I am. I also have found some of my best friends in the world, and having people who truly cheer you on really pushes you to be the best version of yourself, because you've got cheerleaders in your back pocket and you've got the training to really excel. So I think I just became the most confident, most successful version of myself.
And part of both these teams, we do a lot of community outreach and things like that. And, you have to be on and be able to talk to people and, have that confidence to put yourself out there. And the time when we did have to sell a physical calendar, like we were told you have to go up to every single person you see to try to sell them this calendar. So talk about, rejection at its finest. And you're going to ask 10 people and maybe one will say yes to it. So Yeah, it really makes you put yourself out there, and then just everyday things. I have less anxiety because I'm so used to being put out there on display kind of thing, to talk to people or have that confidence to hold a conversation, as Jill was saying.
Okay, so what is your favorite part about being an outrider, and what is the hardest part?
That's such a good question.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
As cliche as it sounds, I think one of my favorite parts is the people that you meet, and the community outreach is by far one of my favorite things that we do. I love being out in the community and getting to see Calgary in a different way through these teams, and in the sense of that you just get to see more of Calgary. Like, you get to see more events, you get to see more people connect in different ways. So I think that would maybe be my favorite part. Do you want to go with your favorite and I'll think of the hardest?
I'm trying to think of the hardest part.
Go with your favorite and then I'll think of the
hardest part for me is going to be like having to give it up one day.
Yeah.
That's not like in the moment now, but I just think about, the day I'm not going to be able to be on these teams because, you can't be an athlete forever, and I'm going to, I'll still be friends with everyone, but it won't be the same. So, yeah, my favorite part, similar to Jill's, I think I've met some incredible women on this team that are lifelong friends, and along with, the incredible partnerships and events, we get to go meet so many incredible people in Calgary that I would have had no idea existed unless I was on these teams and exposed to that kind of thing. So,
how do you stay grounded with the schedule and juggling the other aspects of your life?
A lot of intentional self-care. So I do a lot of meditating. I go to an infrared sauna all the time. I think that really recenters me. And honestly, like, giving yourself the forgiveness to have a day off and do nothing. Being able to sit on your couch, put on a movie, and know that that's okay. That's not stopping you from getting where you're going. You don't need to be 100% pushing yourself every single day. You have to stop so that you can go. I always think of it as like a fuel tank in your car. You can't drive a car on an empty tank. I can't operate my body on an empty tank. So I take a lot of really intentional moments for self-care when I can get them.
Absolutely. And like intentional planning. So I think all of us plan so far ahead. We know the season schedule. So planning for those self-care days, but also days where you're going to see, your friends and family who aren't part of this dance world, and taking time to reconnect with them. And, every time we have like a bye week, we, either get together or get out of Calgary, go to the mountains, just doing something for you that's maybe outside of the busyness of the dance world as well.
What do people ask you, your friends, and what do they ask you about what you do? Is there a reoccurring question that people ask?
A lot of people ask to see. Can you show us a cheer?
Oh.
Can you show us a dance?
Can you cheer for us right now?
Yeah. That's a big question for me, at least.
I'm trying to think, what do people ask me?
Like, can you do the splits? Drop into the splits?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Chop.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Party trick. Yeah. Oh, I get asked a lot, do we travel with the players to the away games?
Which is no.
No. Yeah, we just do home games, but we do get to travel for Grey Cup every year. We fundraise for that.
Let's talk about Labor Day.
Let's do it.
I think it's the biggest game of the year. Is it? It's
up there.
A lot of hype.
Yep.
A lot of hype. How does the energy feel different going into that game?
I think it's so cool because you truly get a lot of Edmonton fans that come down. So you can feel the rivalry in the stadium, whereas on a different game, there's definitely always fans from every team that come, and that makes it as special as it is. But the Edmonton fans coming down, it just really there's almost tension in the air.
Which you can feel it.
You can feel it. It's so cool. The production for the game is always so big.
The flyover is very cool. It gets me every time. Been doing it for 6 seasons.
Do the Edmonton cheerleaders come for this game too?
So they usually do. Depends year to year on how much we can host them. But yeah, last year they came for the game and then we went there on Labor Day rematch. So
Yeah, I know there's been some alterations to our field, so it's still not confirmed whether they're coming down this year or not. But yeah, they've definitely come down before. We've definitely gone up before. We love the cheer team. We see them at Grey Cup every year.
Yeah.
I know Lena's got some really good friends on it.
I went to one of the Elks' weddings as well. So yeah. Huge.
Are you going to come to Labor Day? Do you want to come to Labor Day?
We got some tickets.
I'll go.
Great.
Go. If you have tickets, I'll go.
Okay.
And everyone should go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no camera to look at there. I'm used to.
Come tailgate, come to the game.
We'll get you tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the tickets. Thank you for coming. How about this? Your dream halftime show. I know you're excited for this one. Unlimited budget. Anyone's coming, any place. Tell me about it.
Do they have to be alive?
Yeah. They have to be alive. You have to book them. What happened to Justin Bieber?
Well, okay, I was thinking about Justin Bieber, but then I was like, I actually have this lifelong dream of getting to see Queen live. They're my all-time favorite band.
Okay.
And
They'd
so
be
I
a
was like,
great
if I could bring people back from the dead, I would do Queen. Since I can't.
That's what if you had that power, you just Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury's back.
Yeah.
And he's
Done.
He's making music again.
Okay. We'll book Freddie Mercury. I'll let you. It's a
Okay,
game. It's just a game. We don't have to take it too seriously.
But it would be Queen and then slide into Justin Bieber. And he would only be allowed to play throwback songs.
Okay. And what are you doing? What's the routine? Like, what's your...
I didn't get that far. Definitely dancers. And my dream situation would be Calgary's hosting Grey Cup. Calgary's in Grey Cup. So I would have the Calgary dancers on stage and the opposing team dancers on stage. So whoever we were playing, I would invite their dancers on stage.
Battle.
A dance battle. No, it would be very united. Very celebrate Canada. And all the other cheerleaders would be there. Actually, you know what I would do? I think I would highlight each team to a song. Like I would give each team a moment to kind of highlight themselves. And then we would come together. I think it's really cool that when we do our halftime shows, it's all together. You never get to see that. That's so cool and such a unique experience. But I would also want to kind of highlight all of the teams.
That's a great answer. My answer is not going to be like that.
This one, I can imagine... Bieber needs money, okay? I think he could do a halftime show and you might be there. So that might come true.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do...
They always try to get a Canadian artist.
Yeah.
Drake needs to do one.
That's going to be a tough...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he watches CFL. He might. Does he?
I don't know.
He likes basketball.
I didn't know that the Jonas Brothers did.
Yeah, that's really cool. We didn't talk about that. I asked you if it was a highlight moment and you're like, yeah, it's the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, they were there.
No, it was great. It was great.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but... We ran it with them so many times.
Oh, yes. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think, actually the very first time we ran it and the Jonas Brothers came out and they were real, that was
spectacular. Yeah.
Insane moment of my life.
Yeah, we were like their sound check.
Yeah.
So cool. My ideal halftime show, we would have a giant slip and slide.
Okay.
That's how we would enter. I don't know if it could be all the cheer teams. Giant slip and slide. What if the players slip and slide into the stadium?
Okay, it's your show.
It rains rubber ducks, and then the beat drops.
Nice. Okay. So, for people watching this, how can they find you? Where do they find you? Where do they go? What do we do?
Come to a Stamps game. Come to a Roughnecks game.
Yeah. You can also find us on Instagram.
That too.
You can follow our teams. The Outriders is Stamps Outriders. The drill crew is Roughnecks _ drill crew.
My Instagram is Lena, Lena, __.
Mine is Jillian.Ray with 3 E's, RAEE.
Those are kind of complicated.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll put a
take, yeah.
I didn't know there was individual accounts. I should follow them. I'm going to now.
Yeah.
My bad.
Both teams have their own Instagram account, so you can follow along on our journeys.
That's it. How did that feel? I'm pretty much done the episode now, and then we'll just chat.
That's great. I feel great.
I feel great.
Okay. I just take these off and it ends. Okay, watch this. It's over.